I saw those videos on YouTube. I never saw it in real life. I saw those videos on YouTube. I never saw it in real life. This is the way to do it.
Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. This reading will be about Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. Now they've been going on their little press tour, right? And I'm pretty sure people are curious. Like, what's sort of like the vibe between these two, right? Is there a connection there? You know, what's the compatibility like? Not just that, what does he think of her and what does she think of him, right? Let me just see. What's the general energy before I start asking questions and tapping into stuff? What's the general energy so far? All right, interesting. Future plans. It's kind of crooked, guys. What else can we see? What else is going on between this Zendaya and Robert Pattinson? All right, I'll leave that in the current slot. Sideways. All right. And what's the final card for the future going to be? All right. So, I already got like a vibe here, right? These two, their situation's interesting. Interesting for sure. The Empress. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that this is Zendaya. She's kind of having cold feet, is what I'm seeing here. This is just what I'm getting. If I'm correct, I think the movie that these two are in is about being married or getting married or something, or plans to be married. And what I'm seeing here is that this Empress, right? The Empress represents sort of just like behind the scenes energy, stuff like that. But it's sideways. I'm seeing indecision, cold feet. I'm seeing being torn, being split, right? And it's almost just like these future plans, you know, this past energy, right? She's not sure of these plans that was made, you know. At the same time, in her heart, she does love the guy that she's with and she cares about him. That's for sure. But the future, it's looking pretty stressed out, right? What can I see? What else? Is there anything else? All right. The Tower. The Tower, interesting. Yeah, I don't know if she really wants to be married, guys. Yeah, I don't think. And if you watch my reading I did on her and her boyfriend and stuff like that, you know, that reading is very insightful and it should give like more depth into like what's happening here. So I would definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. But what I'm seeing here is that I don't know how sure she is. She doesn't know how sure she is, right? Some people say she's already married. I don't know. What I'm getting here though is, I don't know, she just wants to explore her options more. She just wants to explore her options more with this possibilities and shit. She doesn't want to be a tied down Empress. You know, not just that, even with her heart, because this is the future of the heart. This is the spiritual slot and the sort of like heart slot. And this is my method, by the way, for people who don't know. I created it myself. This is the past slot. This is the present slot. This is sort of just like what's in your heart, the spiritual slot, and this is the future slot. So what I'm seeing though is in her heart, again, she's torn, she's split, she just doesn't know. But this relationship she's with, like the guy she's with, it's a healing relationship, so like, you know, that's what she cares about. But I mean, tough, guys. What do you guys have to say about this? Very tough, very interesting. Now I'm going to move that to side and let me start seeing like, oh, what's the compatibility between her and this Robert Pattinson? What can we see? Is there any compatibility? What's going on? The Devil. There might be some secrets, guys. There might be some secrets. What else is going on? All right. There might be some secrets. Ooh, the Two of Cups. Interesting. Exchanging vibes. Very insightful. What else can we see? What else is going on between these two? All right. So let's see. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that these two do get along. The vibes is compatible. We have people exchanging energy. We also have communication with the Eight of Wands, right? And he also has some energy and passions to give her, right? Now, the question is, though, what is this devil about? What's going on with this devil? What are they hiding? What are these two hiding? What can we see? What are these two hiding? All right. Queen of Pentacles relating to business so far. Yeah, death, being stuck. Okay, so I'm going to be real with you guys. This sort of situation with Robert Pattinson does make her a bit uncomfortable. You know, it's almost just like, yeah, they're compatible, but they're trying to suppress emotions, trying to suppress feelings. That's just what I'm getting, you know. The devil has to do with secrets, right? Restrictions, trying to suppress things. What I'm seeing here is that, oh, there was another card. They're a lot closer than what meets the eye. They're a lot closer than what meets the eye. But it's a vibe almost of like being stuck, not being able to make that journey, right? The Six of Swords is all about leaving a past situation behind. That's actually what it represents. That's why this lady is on a boat. She's supposed to be like traveling from her homeland to a new homeland. That's what this is about. So it's kind of just like this restrictions, this suppression and all that. Dealing with this Robert guy, it makes her feel the possibilities. Like earlier when the possibilities card came out, you know how it's just like when a woman is like single, like she always says things like, oh, I want to be like in a relationship. Oh, like, you know, I'm sick of being single, right? And then when she like gets with a guy and things get serious, you know, she might love it and it might be fun. And then after a while, it kind of gets old. And then it's kind of just like, I kind of miss being single again. Like, we all seen it. And I'm pretty sure some of us experienced that sort of energy. So that's what I'm seeing here. It's almost like a buyer's remorse energy. Because it's like she wants to experience more. And it would make sense because if you think about it, this lady, these people are young, you know. And I'm not saying that people can't be committed like young as hell or whatever. But, you know, she's still exploring her life and going through things, you know what I mean? Low key though, with this death, she wish she could put a lot of things behind her, like all of this sort of interaction she's having with the guy she's with, even sort of just like their healing romance and all that. She wants to put that behind her. At the same time, she really doesn't want to have any more business with this Robert Pattinson dude. You know, the Queen of Pentacles is a businesswoman, right? It can also represent business ties, business arrangements. What I'm seeing here is that, I don't know, it's like she doesn't really want to deal with him anymore. You know what I mean? She just doesn't want to deal with these mixed emotions, these mixed feelings. I'm seeing that this is a bad time for her to be having a movie like she's having with him, to be dealing with like this sort of romance stuff and the theme, you know? Like, this is just telling me it's a bad time. The Hangman can represent a lot of things, hidden enemies, being stuck. It can also represent a bad time, bad plans, bad timing again. So I'm just seeing bad timing. This isn't a good time. You know? What else can we see about this exchange of I don't know, it's telling me intimacy. What can we see with this exchange of intimacy between her and Robert Pattinson? What can be shown to us? Yeah, it's deep. It's really deep because it's almost just like an uphill battle. The Seven of Wands could represent an uphill battle, right? Not just that, the Seven of Wands can represent things not working out, right? Difficulty, challenges. It's challenges with this Emperor, right? That's just what it's giving me. it's challenges with this emperor. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to adjust myself. And it's kind of just like, again, stuck. You know, she's stuck. This lady's stuck. She's trapped. She's in her head. This is confirming what I was telling you guys. It's like, on one hand, okay, the romance is cool that she's in. Yeah, she loves him, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's telling me it's a challenge. Even with this sort of just like Seven of Wands energy, like, she wants to be free, but she's not free. She's stuck. Again, what I was saying earlier, that like, this is a woman that just wants to enjoy her life. She doesn't want to be stuck, and it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. You know, why is there a heartbreak here, right? Why is it like she can't indulge with this emperor? Why can't she have fun? Yeah, I understand he has his own romance, his own situation too. But again, it's just bad timing all around. You know, what can we see with this interaction that they be having with this communication? What can we see? All right, pertaining to the future slot. And I'm drawn just to pull more cards before I get to that. Damn, that sucks. Look, this is interesting, right? This is what I was telling you guys. That is just bad timing. I wanted to pull more cards because we're telling me to pull more cards. But remember I was telling you, like, they just can't do things together. That's why it's like, damn, that sucks. Because it's like, they both feel that way too. It's kind of just like, we communicate so well. We vibe so well. We have a lot in common, right? Again, I think Robert's a little bit older, but they're still young. You know, they're not like ancient or anything. So these are people that are still in their prime, can still be intimate, you know, people that can have kids, I presume. So it's kind of just like they have all this energy, all this youth, all this excitement, but they're dealing with real life things of having to slow down, of having to take in other people's emotions, you know, like take that into consideration, and they can't just indulge. What else can we see about this slot? Because I was drawn to pull more cards. Overflowing emotions. So these people, right? They be overflowing with emotions, right? Look, you see what I was telling you? The energies is just confirming this whole thing, that they vibe well. You know, if this was like before any of them got committed to the people that they're committed with, they would either have like a secret romance or something. Like, they would be doing their own thing behind the scenes, having fun, you know, being intimate. Because I'm seeing here that there's things that possibly went down. You know, I'm going to be respectful. That's all I'm going to say, right? I'm just being real with you guys because this is the Eight of Wands earlier that popped up. So it's kind of just like, any more before I close this particular slot? All right. It's telling me they're trying to crunch emotions. The Fool. And this is almost like red flags energy. It's like, we have to go. We can't do this. Like, you have somebody, I have somebody. What can we see about the passion side? Because he has passion for her. He's very aroused by her. Zendaya is very beautiful, right? A little bit too skinny for my taste, but it is what it is. What can we see? Because he has, like, you know, his little penis out and everything. That's just what I'm getting. He can do it. It's like he's betraying himself, betraying his lady, you know. The Ten of Swords can represent a traitor, right? It can also represent you betraying yourself. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? That rock and that hard place being his penis and his desires for Zendaya. It's telling me he can indulge. What else can we see? The Page of Swords. He's at struggle. He's dealing with the struggle, I should say. Dealing with the struggle. Wanting this new beginning, right? Trying to like come up with an idea of like, how can we express the passion, the love that we have? But he knows it's not meant to be. That's why he's dealing with injury, guys, with the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands represent an injury. He's dealing with an injury because he can't indulge. You know, so it's just repeating. It's just giving us more depth, right? It's kind of just like energy is just telling me it's true. Because, you know, these people aren't monsters, you know? So it's kind of just like they do care, and he understands that he's just stuck. So, I mean, Let's see. What does he feel about Zendaya? What can we see? Is there anything else? What does he feel about this Zendaya? I'm gonna leave that in the future. He thinks she's not as innocent as people make her out to be, though. He sees her as innocent, true, but he knows a little bit more about her that we don't see. Fascinating. It's telling me, I don't know, this is just what I'm getting intuitively, that she talks a lot of shit. So you know how, like, when you see her, she's very professional to the point? What I'm getting is behind the scenes, she's kind of like how I be in my readings. Y'all be talking shit and people be in their feelings and stuff. A lot of people keep that side of them hidden because it ticks people off. It makes people uncomfortable. It makes people upset because a lot of people are restricted in their lives. So they feel like you have to be restricted, right? It's kind of just like, so professionally, like she has that down pat. But like when, you know, the cameras aren't on her and there's no one recording her, she talks a lot of shit. She's very funny. The innocent card sideways can represent someone that has fun, but someone that has fun where it's like not so innocent, right? Where it would make people like turn an eyebrow up, like, what the hell? Oh, I can't believe that person said that, you know? It's kind of just like an innocent person not being so innocent. So it just is what it is. What else can we see? So he sees the isolation. He knows that she's going through things. He knows that, like in the previous reading I did about her and her relationship, that she's almost looking for, I don't know, someone that's like, I guess, more on the masculine side that could kind of support her. But that reading said she's really never going to find that with anyone. That's just what was like said, right? So he sees her, he sees the deeper side of her. Sort of just like even the whole Hollywood side, right? So, I mean, it's a lot going on with that. What else can we see? He sees her fun side, right? He's seen her even in a more intimate setting. So, very beautiful and interesting. Kind of salacious in a way. All right, participation. He thinks that she's a good person, right? You know, the participation is a person that's likable. A person that's agreeable, right? A person that doesn't have a problem making friends. So he sees her as like a real chill, cool person. At the same time, though, he knows that she's compromising, even with her relationship, even with sort of just like the Hollywood thing. And I believe this is actually what popped up in the reading I did for her in her relationship, that she's compromising. So, I mean, it just is what it is. He knows that she wants to be free. But he does see her as harmonious. How does Zendaya view him? What can I see? I'll leave that be where it is, and I'll get to it, because I don't know what that's. She knows that he's tired. She says that you have your hand in a lot of pots. You're dabbling in a lot of different things. She knows that he's stressed out behind the scenes. She feels bad for him. She's a very perceptive person, right? She's a very caring person, so she sees that. What else can we see before I get to that other past lives? The people that pops up in her life, it's almost like a past life situation, whether if you believe it or not, right? I'm not here to say it's real. I'm not here to say it's fake or it's true, whatever. I'm here just to tell you that when she interacts with people, this is why she could get along with people, right? Like, even if they might have their personalities or whatever, it's almost just like she interacted with them before. The past lives can actually literally represent you interacting with someone in your past life. Not just that, it represents a familiarity. She has a familiarity with this guy, right? He's not like a stranger to her. Courage, all right. They both have that in common. What else? The love, yeah. Again, like I was telling you, she feels certain emotions, compulsions, but she can indulge. What can we see? The Fool, yeah, I mean, this might be something that they can visit later on. At least this is how she's feeling. She's kind of just like, okay, if things don't go right between me and my guy, and between, like, I guess, him and his lady, then we can give this a try. That's just what I'm getting. And I'm just drawn to just see what else comes out. Just one more card. I ain't going to do like a whole spread, but whatever comes out. Look, you see, to confirm what I was telling you, she's just receptive. It's just like, okay, if it's not going to happen now, like we can't make it happen now, then in the future, it can go down, right? She's a person that just tries to find peace. Is there anything else we could see for cards? Or just whatever, what else needs to be seen? Okay, is it 4 cards? No, it's telling me a whole situation. High Priestess, the strength, confusion, illusions, struggle, passion, desire, the lovers. These people, guys, they're dealing with a lot of struggle because they're both not happy with their relationship. I gotta be real with you. Yeah, she likes the guy that she's with, but we already got into that in a previous reading. It's almost just like, I don't know, like she's sticking around just to heal him, right? Almost kind of just like out of loyalty. But this whole Robert Pattinson guy and this whole interaction that they have, it triggers a lot of things. It causes a lot of confusions. It makes them be in their feelings, right? Not just that. She's one of those sort of people that's an empath, and it's telling me she's a healer, and the energy is also telling me it's true. She could see the deep sides of people. This is actually what makes her beautiful. So not only is she beautiful from the outside, she's beautiful from the inside. And I really vibe with this. This is really beautiful, right? She's really a golden, beautiful person. Because it's almost just an energy is telling me it's true. She can see what's inside someone's heart. She can see when people struggle. And she really does empathize with that. It could get her in trouble sometimes, but she's just one of those people. You know, she can just be in tune with people's feelings. This is why people like her. But at the same time, this is a struggle. This romance that's not meant to be, it's a struggle. She has desire for him and even has desire for her. But it's just not meant to be, guys. You see, even the lovers is popping up. They really want to vibe, but you guys tell me, what do you think? Do you think that these are just 2 young people full of hormones, and I think they're in their middle or late 20s, so they're not teens or anything. They're not 19 dealing with, you know what I mean? Really intense new hormones. But, at that age in your 20s, even in your 30s, it's still active and shit, right? It's not slowing down. So I'll speak for myself, but it's kind of just you're still active and shit. So it's kind of just you know what I mean? They feel things, they're in the heat of life and shit. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is just them being in passion, being in delusion, right? Do you think that they're just doing it because this is something new? Or do you think that it's actual love here? Because this whole thing keeps saying that it's a love that they can't touch, that this is a taboo love for the both of them, right? But it's just but they just can't do anything with it, It's a struggle. It's not meant to be. It's all this passion and shit, All this energy, all this passion, right? All this emotions, but then there's confusions and shit. So, I thought this was a very insightful reading, guys. I think it was very insightful, and I hope it was insightful for you. Take care, guys.